So, 2016 is slowly but surely coming to an end, and while the year had overall been pretty great to me, what with my channel growing by leaps and bounds, thank you all out there for watching, getting to go on a ton of different trips, including New York Comic Con, where I got to co-host a freaking panel, meet a ton of awesome fans, and sign autographs. For everyone else, the year could pretty much be best described as one giant never-ending garbage fire. We lost some really cool celebrities, and I'm not even gonna beat the dead horse that was international politics. But the new year is supposed to be a time of reflection, looking back so we can move forward, and because of that I've compiled a list of 10 of my favorite comics from the year that was in no particular order. So without further ado, let's take a look at what was the cream of the crop in 2016. Starting things off right, we have the Mighty Thor, which for those of you out there wondering is actually making its appearance on my end of year list video for 3 solid years running now. Jason Aaron's Thor saga, the name may have changed once or twice, but the high quality sure as hell hasn't changed. Jane Foster has still taken up the mantle of the God of Thunder, and not only must she battle villainous threats like Dario Agger and the evil Roxxon Corporation while dealing with her personal cancer, there's also the threat of Malekith the Accursed trying to start a war that threatens to tear all the different realms apart. But by far, one of the biggest comic revelations in 2016 actually came in the pages of Thor. For those who missed it, we found out that Thor's trusty hammer Mjolnir is actually alive and sentient. This comic series seamlessly marries superhero action with sword and sorcery fantasy epicness, and it's really one hell of a combo. Honorable mention should also be paid to the Unworthy Thor, the companion miniseries that explains what happened to the original Thor Odinson after losing his hammer. This comic is admittedly fairly new, but so far it's been equally awesome. It's also a lot more of a cosmic tale with our Norse hero than a standard fantasy one, so really there's a Thor book out for everyone in 2016 is what I'm trying to say. Now next up I want to talk a little about Power Man and Iron Fist. Luke Cage already got a lot of love this year as part of his Netflix show, and Danny Rand will be getting the same treatment very soon. Sadly, I hear few people talking about David F. Walker's awesome relaunch of the Heroes for Hire. They're older now, Luke has a family and responsibility, he's led an Avenger team, but Danny is still every bit the same sweet, almost simple Danny that we all know and love, and all he wants to do is hang out with his buddy again. Friendship really is the key to why this series works so well. You really do feel these two dudes love each other and have had a super long history with one another, which they have and the comic makes reference to, but it's also super easy for newcomers to come on in and pick this one up. The book also managed to not get dragged down by the events of Civil War II, as way too many Marvel books this year did. Instead, they used the tie-ins as a chance to talk about police profiling in the United States, a pretty good topic given Luke Cage's own history as an ex-con, showing full well that this series could do social commentary right alongside blaxploitation-inspired action. Now, few comics shook things up more this year than DC Universe Rebirth. This was the story that took steps to breathe fresh life into the universe by bringing back some favorite characters as well as some fan-favorite relationships. DC Universe Rebirth was a love letter to the DC comics of the past, but it also didn't manage to lose new fans that may have been brought in by the New 52. The harbinger of this new status quo was the original Wally West, a much-in-demand hero who takes a walking tour of the world and brings warning of a new threat, one that stole 10 years from our heroes. This special extra-length issue was written by lifelong Wally fan and master of continuity Jeff Johns. The book at times really does feel like some kind of magic trick that this creator is working. This is a book that pulled on a lot of heartstrings of older fans while also titillating fans about what they could expect from a new era in publishing. All in all, it was a real winner, and it's a book that effects we're still feeling to this day. From there, we move on to Captain America Steve Rogers. Man, if they gave an award for the comic that was mentioned the most in the news and on social media this year, then Nick Spencer's new Captain America would win it hands down. Spinning out of the pages of Avengers Standoff, aka that one really good event Marvel did this year that everyone seems to have forgotten about, the way it goes is Steve Rogers regained his youth with the help of a cosmic cube star child known as Kobik, but what also happened was he had his personal history rewritten to where he now believes himself to have always been a Hydra sleeper agent. Much like the Superior Spider-Man and Grayson before it, I feel that this change shocked so many people so quickly that they didn't actually bother to notice how clever Spencer was being. I mean, come on, seriously, outside Brubaker, when was the last time people were talking this much about a mainline Captain America book? The new series really did go out of its way to reinvent the wheel, and I can safely say in 2016, Captain America ended up being one of the most interesting and compelling anti-villains villains in all of comic books. You see, Steve isn't just a Hydra sleeper agent. He thinks that the group has lost its way and that he can do much better by taking it over. Only to do this, he's going to have to play the long game in order to kill the Red Skull and indeed anyone else who he feels is getting in his way. A politically minded writer, Spencer was able to also zhuzh up comics' oldest Nazi villain, the Red Skull, by drawing from current headlines wherein fascist ideologies are sadly becoming very prevalent. You see, the Red Skull's Hydra isn't just a Nazi death cult, it's a grassroots political movement. Even the lackluster events of Civil War II were made more interesting by this new status quo. In fact, Spencer went the extra mile and pretty much pinned all the most evil things that happened in the event on Captain America. But it's more than just one book. Hydra Cap is an epic, sprawling tale that's being told over all the Cap books and even Thunderbolts. It's an ambitious, ballsy story, and I can't wait to see where it all goes from here. Moving on our end-of-year wrap-up, we have Detective Comics. 2016 was a year loaded with some really amazing Batman books, but for my money, the one that stole the show and the spotlight was easily this ensemble piece from James Tynion. You see, a kinder, gentler, more social Batman that came apart because of DC Rebirth decides to bring his extended family together under one roof in an attempt to do some real good in Gotham City. This means plenty of fan favorites like Batwoman, Tim Drake, Cassandra Cain, and even spoiler, all get a chance to, shine in this new series. The first arc also saw Batman's uncle and Batwoman's father, Jack Kane, finally break bad and become a new dangerous villain. It really is a treat to see Batman trying so hard to play nice with others even when he can't seem to manage it. The book also packs in some real emotional punch with the supposed death of a member very early on, which soon we discover might actually be tied into the bigger events of DC Rebirth, but that's still developing, so there's not much to say on that. What I will say though is that the book is positively eye-poppingly gorgeous too, with some of the finest art that came out this year. All in all, it's a joy. Now from Gotham to Craw County, the next comic I want to talk to you all about is Southern Bastards. So my favorite Southern Fried Crime series from Jason Aaron and Image Comics may only have had 3 issues in 2016. Hey, that's the way Image plays it, but that didn't stop them from all being totally awesome and totally deserving of a place on this list. We saw Coach Boss's football dreams come crashing down his ears right alongside his sanity and general criminal stranglehold on the small town. But we also got introduced to a brand new hero, the daughter of the man most people thought would be the hero when we picked up issue 1 all that time ago now, Roberta Tubb, a veteran of the Middle Eastern wars who brings the same kind of tactics to small town America, which, gives the writer a great chance to compare the overly religious, insulated combatants of one area to another. Southern Bastards is still just such a smart and brutal book, and I would really give away more, but that would be spoiling one of the best damn rides you could be giving yourself right now. Okay, that's 6 comics down and 4 comics to go, and the next one we're going to be looking at is Vision. In 2016, writer Tom King got Blade Runner peanut butter all over our comic book superhero chocolate, and it tasted pretty damn good. Vision sees everyone's favorite Avenged Synthoid trying to build himself an actual loving family in the heart of suburbia, and from there, anything that could go wrong goes absolutely wrong. This is a short series, an existential little voyage that asked all our favorite questions like, when does artificial intelligence become real intelligence? Can robots feel, and more importantly, can they feel love? The Vision himself is, of course the star, but the book becomes excellent by the strength of its new characters. You got Vision's wife and children, all of whom grapple with weighty issues of humanity. Honestly, this explanation can't do this whole series justice. I'll just say, even if you're like me and never really liked or respected the Vision as a hero, trust me, this book will totally change your outlook on things. I know it did for me. And I mean, really, if you need any more prodding to pick this one up, let me put it this way. Tom King got to write Batman this year, and this Vision book is still the best thing he did in 2016. Okay then, from robots to aliens, we next up have Superman American Alien. So whether you knew it or not, comic book Superman has had one of the best damn years he's ever had. It was really hard to pick just one book to put on this list, but after much thought, I decided to give the nod to Max Landis' Superman American Alien. In short, this book is a retelling of Superman's origin, like we really needed any more of those. But what this book does differently is that every issue is a little mini story that focuses on a different era in Superman's life with different artwork and even a different genre to go with the story. So you get a Spielbergian little tale about young Clark trying to learn how to fly with the help of his father and everyone else in Smallville, then boom, boom, in the next issue you get a story about young adult Clark and his friends having a hangover-style misadventure in the city. Landis puts his stamp on plenty of other heroes as well, while also really respecting their individual histories. Variety is really what sells this book. It shows why Superman has maintained over 75 years. You can put him in any type of situation, with any sort of artwork, in any sort of medium, and he still finds a way to soar. This is most definitely a winner from start to finish. Not just a good book, but, something that becomes a must-read for the character. Alrighty then, only 2 more left to go, and the penultimate comic we're going to be taking a closer look at is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Hey, did you guys know I love Power Rangers? Because I totally do. And you know what else I love? Freaking Kyle Higgins, because I sure do. And when I heard that Boom Studios was going to be making a Ranger comic with the original Mighty Morphin cast, but set in the modern day era, I was a little bit worried. I feared it might try too hard to be like the new movie. Little did I know this book honors the old show while also totally charting its own course. Higgins is free to write backstory and home lives for the teenagers with attitude that never really got them before on TV. We also got a brand new villain in the form of Black Dragon, a powerful new villain who bosses around Rita and has a bone to pick with Tommy Oliver personally. This is a comic with huge action, the references are great, we get backup stories following Bulk and Skull. This book is a must for any Power Rangers fan, it's totally worth it. Okay, and my final favorite book from 2016 was Dark Knight, a true Batman story. Paul Dini, for those of you who didn't know, is a legend in the world of superheroes. For starters, he created Harley Quinn and wrote some of your favorite cartoons. But this Vertigo book wasn't actually about Batman at all. Well, not really anyway. The book gives us a deeply intimate and personal look into one of our favorite creators and tells the story of one of the darkest times in Mr. Dini's life, following a mugging and assault that left him near death. Dini is super critical of the man he was at this time, and his very real pain makes him incredibly sympathetic. It's also a testament to the healing powers of superheroes and comic books, as Dini's issues are represented by comic book characters. Dark Knight, a true Batman story is a beautiful, sometimes harsh book that struck a major chord with me and one that I thought about long after I read it. It's also one of the very best comics of 2016, and you owe it to yourself to read it. Well, there you have it, everybody. 10 of my favorite comics from the year 2016. In the comment section down below, feel free to share with me what your favorite books of the year was and what series are you looking forward to in 2017. Until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching.